Hello, welcome back to Vinyl Show and Tell. Thanks as always for tuning in. Hope you lovely lot are doing okay. So I thought I'd just make just a bit of an off-the-cuff video really here. I've just been working my way through a lot of purchases I've made over the last couple of months. All of these, I think pretty much all of these have been online purchases, so haven't actually featured in any of my videos where I've been at fairs or shopping and so on. So I thought I'd just do a roundup because I've built up, as usual, I've built up a little bit of a backlog. So and there's some really interesting stuff here. Well, there is in my opinion anyway. So I thought I'd just show it off, just keep in the loop. So here we go. There's a few to get through. So no more rambling for me. Let's get through this. Right, to start off with, post-punk. We've got a band called The Passions. The album is called Michael and Miranda. This is their debut album. It's a UK pressing on Fiction Records, so label mates with The Cure. I've only spun this one once the other day. I was impressed. I wouldn't say it's the most original sounding post-punk record in the world, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I did like it and I will continue to play it. Great female vocals. It's very much in the vein of sort of Gang of Four. Reminds me a lot of the Au Pairs. If anyone here likes the Au Pairs, you will certainly enjoy The Passions. As I say, it is probably what I'd call a fairly typical sounding post-punk record. It's sort of, jagged guitars, good rhythms, that kind of thing. But very good nonetheless. It might even grow on me a lot more the more times I play it. So there we are, The Passions. Very, very good. Okay, here we are. We've got one more by the Icicle Works. It's called If You Want to Defeat Your Enemy, Sing His Song. Again, UK pressing on Beggars Banquet Records. Once again, a debut spin for this. Icicle Works, I would describe this record as a kind of new wave power pop record. I did like it. I think it had its moments. I'm going to have to stick with it and I think it will grow on me. What I think stuck out for this particular one is it is a very, very 80s production. It's got a really, really kind of big mid to late 80s sound. Big drums, lots of reverb. I believe this is their third album. I can't remember the year. It's not on the inner sleeve. Let's check the label, shall we? It'll be on the label for sure. 1987. So yes, it's definitely in the era of big production. I've got their debut album, which I think I showed on one of my videos last year, the Icicle Works. That is much more sort of a rawer sounding album, much more in the post-punk vein. But nonetheless, I shall spin this again. It will probably grow on me. As I say, it wasn't something that I thought, oh no, this is not for me. It just, some things do take a while to grow on you. They either grab you immediately or they don't. So there we go. Icicle Works, there it is. Very, very cheap that was, by the way. That was about £3. Now this one I did like from the offset. This is a band called PlanNine. This is a self-titled release on New Road Records. The cover, I don't think on camera it's going to pick up the full extent to how that looks. That absolutely does your eyes in when you look at that. This had been sitting on my Discogs Wants list for ages, and I can't remember for the life of me why I put it on there or where I'd heard of it from. It might have been from one of you guys here on YouTube. I just don't know. But I bought it along with a bunch of other things it was on Discogs from what were they called? Crazy Beat Records in Essex. They're a great shop. I've never visited it and probably never will. But Crazy Beat Records, they've got a huge inventory and their prices are always cheap and they always seem to undergrade. They always seem to put things at VG and it's normally better than VG, and this one was no exception. I really like this. Again, I've only spun it once, but we're looking at a great sort of new wave neo-psychedelic band. Some great Doors sounding organ in the background all the way through. I thought it was absolutely great and I look forward to spinning it again. for some reason, this is the only album by PlanNine I had on my wants list. I had it in my head that they were probably a one and done band, but I had a look, I checked them out on Discogs yesterday, and they've done loads of albums. And I'm like, I don't know why I just put only this one on there. I've absolutely no idea, because they've got, it looked like they had about sort of 7, 8, 9 albums. So I'll have to check out more, won't I? But yeah, I can't really tell you. I mean, they are an American band, that's all I can really tell you. But recommended, PlanNine, self-titled, very, very good indeed. Oh, this one, this one is an absolute banger. This is Three Man Army with their album Three Man Army 2. Now, this is a confusing title. It's not their second album. I've got their debut album called Third of a Lifetime, which is absolutely great. And they released another album, a second record called, I think it was called Manisha, and in certain territories it was just called Three Man Army. That one was never released in the UK. They then released this one, their third record, and called it 2. Why? I don't know. I'm not going to try and speculate, but anyway. Considering how much I loved Three Man Army's first record, and have done for many years, I actually bought it when I was about 20. It's that long ago. We're looking at a quarter of a century ago. I've never managed to pick up anything else by them. And I finally managed to get a really, really tidy copy of this. It's a UK original on Reprise Records. Just one spin the other day and I was knocked out for 6. The musicianship on it is stellar, absolutely stellar. It's a hard rock record, and it's really, really heavy. It's just 3 of them, hence the title. The guitar work is just out of this world. The drumming is unbelievable. They had a drummer, a session drummer on this called Tony Newman. He's been around for years. He played with Bowie. What did he play? I think he played on Diamond Dogs, among other ones. He was in a band on Vertigo called May Blitz, but he's been around for many years. And the drumming it's absolutely unbelievable. It's like a machine gun. It's so frantic. But yeah, I was so stoked to pick this up. Very reasonable price. Cover was listed as VG. I think that's a bit better than VG. I know you can see a bit of ringwear there, but it is actually very, very clean. And the record itself is near mint. It is beautiful, and this is a very, very low price because it's not a common record. So I urge you all out there, if you like early 70s hard rock or prog rock, Three Man Army, definitely check it out. And their debut as well, Third of a Lifetime on Pegasus, absolutely fantastic. Just bear with me. Okay, right, here's one that only arrived 2 days ago actually. I haven't spun it yet, but I'm going to show it anyway. This is self-titled album by Farm. Now, this one is originally it was a private press, I think a private press, or at least something very, very rare, very limited pressing, absolutely impossible to find. If you get an original, it's going to cost you hundreds or thousands of US dollars. I first heard about this from Dylan at Noble Records. I'm sure most of you all know who Dylan at Noble Records is. After all, he's the governor of the vinyl community for sure. But he was actually involved in getting this reissued, I think. It's on Gerson Records, so it's a great official re-release. And he actually licensed a pressing of this through his own shop in the States. These Gerson pressings, because they're pressed in Spain, they're not easy to obtain here in the UK due to various reasons, which I won't go into, which I do not approve of. We all know what they are. However, I did manage to find a copy, very affordable. They had several copies on Amazon, of all places. I happened to, it was my birthday last week, and I happened to get some Amazon vouchers for my birthday. So this is one of the things I treat myself to. I have checked it out on YouTube briefly. all I can say is I'm actually going to read the actual hype over to you. Top guitar, heavy jammer, blues rock, private press album. Classy dual guitar jams recording Quicksilver, all the Allman Brothers. When I checked it out, I couldn't put it better than myself. It was certainly good enough for me to add it to my wants list, and now I've finally got it. So as I say, that was from Amazon. Incidentally, you should see the packaging that Amazon sent that in. I'm just going to cut to the packaging that Amazon sent that in. So I'm glad someone's appreciating that packaging, but I just don't know. I don't know why they have to use such big boxes, because inside that box was a good mailer, and inside the mailer that was wrapped in a ton of bubble wrap. The mailer and the bubble wrap would have just been fine, it would have made it. But yeah, I don't know, Amazon have this thing about over packaging, or indeed under packaging. It seems to be one way or the other with them, but there we are. At least it arrived safe. I shouldn't moan really. Okay, this one, a recent purchase. I can't say too much about it because I haven't played it yet, I'm afraid. Joe Jackson, film soundtrack, get my words out, film soundtrack, Tucker. What's interesting about this, I love Joe Jackson. I went to see him last year, absolutely fantastic. Got most of his albums, but for some reason I didn't know this one existed. It was just off my radar. Never seen it in the wild, because I see Joe Jackson an awful lot. His albums are so easy to pick up and so cheap, yet never seen this one. So I had to resort to paying very cheap off Discogs, because I just thought, well, I might never see it in the wild. It was kind of like, it was £3. The postage cost me more, but there we are. It's a nice copy, so all great. Okay, I think this is the only one that didn't come from the internet online. Random charity shop find, Bauhaus, their 4AD EP. I haven't played Bauhaus for ages. I've got 2 Bauhaus albums. It's their second and it's their third and fourth ones, and I do like them, but it's been a while since I played it. But I've never heard this one. It was only £6 in a charity shop near me. It was kind of up on their wall, so yeah, I thought I'd get it. It just happened to sort of be out on a walk, passed by, picked it up. Why not indeed? That's a nice little find. Okay, right, this is a nice rare album, and it's an upgrade copy for me. Okay, some brilliant prog rock. One and only, self-titled by Indian Summer. This is a brilliant album. When I did my previous videos on 10 greatest prog albums, I did 2 of them, if you fancy checking them out. Plug. This was a serious contender to go into the list, but it just didn't quite make it. But it really is brilliant. It's from 1971. It's a doomy album, very, very doomy, quite reminiscent. Sometimes it reminds me a little bit of Arthur Brown. Not sort of, I suppose, a little bit like Crazy World of, but not quite as manic as his Kingdom Come phase. It's a bit more in the sort of, if you fuse sort of Arthur Brown with maybe Black Sabbath, that kind of sound. It's a really sort of doomy organ, very downbeat, but the singer actually does sound like Arthur Brown. He can really scream his notes when he gets going. It is absolutely fantastic. Look at this band. Look. I mean, if you ever seen a band that looks more the part than that, early 70s, look at them. Fantastic. So this is a UK first press on RCA Neon. It sounds great. The only thing that lets this album down, I've always maintained about this record, is it's about 25 minutes of music per side, and as a consequence it is cut and mastered very, very low. So the dynamics are lacking a little bit here. It's all right if you can crank the volume up. If you've got a nice powerful hi-fi, you can crank the volume up and it's okay. But it does mar it a little bit. But nonetheless, musically, it's fantastic. Highly recommended. It has been reissued because it is a bit of a pricey one. Great record, absolutely fantastic. So here we are. We've got an EP. by the band Bob. I haven't played it yet, but Bob, I've got an album by Bob, and I did show it on a previous video actually. They're a great late 80s, early 90s kind of indie band, jangle pop, really, really great stuff. This is just 4 tracks. It was just a couple of pounds, again on my order from Crazy Beat. There we go. Okay, this one, this by Midlake. This is from 2006. I can't really tell you. This only came the other day. I thought I'd still show it anyway. I can't really. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what it's like. This was actually a recommendation by 2 of my good friends, and they actually mentioned it on completely separate occasions. And this is the album that they both recommended. I will. Let's get the disc out and show you, because look at this. On beautiful gold vinyl. As I understand, it's kind of an acid folk album. Apparently very, very good, but I've yet to play it, so there we go. The hype sticker on it makes me feel old. It's from 2006, which in my head is really recent. It's a modern band, yet it's described as a timeless classic. And when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's 17 years ago. That's old. It's not recent at all. But 2006 to me is a modern album. It is modern by my standards, if you see what I'm showing here, I suppose. Okay, this one, here we go. So, Climax Chicago Blues Band, although by this time they've shortened their name to Climax Chicago. This is their 3rd album called Tight Knit. It's on my favourite label, Harvest. And it is original UK pressing. I've spun this one a few times. I do quite like it. It's certainly a departure from their earlier blues sound. I mean, I think every sort of blues boom band from the late 60s kind of, they gravitated away from the pure blues sound by kind of 1970, 71. They started experimenting more. This has kind of got a sort of a boogie-ish sound, maybe a little bit jazzy in places, but there are still 1 or 2 bluesy numbers as well. It's quite a varied album, really. If you like Savoy Brown, I'd probably say you'd probably enjoy this band. I know there are Savoy Brown fans out there. There's one in particular Savoy Brown fan who I know of. If you're watching, you know who you are. But yeah, there we go. Great Hypnosis cover. Incidentally, does anyone know who that is? I actually put it out on a Facebook group recently asking who the gentleman was, but no one knew. It looks a bit like the drummer from the band Spirit, but it isn't him. Yeah, absolutely bizarre cover. They were going through their sort of Hypnosis. I think we're going through their minimalistic kind of artsy photography phase. Certainly they did it around the same time of Atom Heart Mother, Pink Floyd, just a cow on its own. So yeah, it's pretty good. And finally, another upgrade record, another bit of prog. I'm sure 1 or 2 of you will know this one. Caravan, the great Caravan, with Waterloo Lily from 1972. This one is a original pressing. They came with a large brown and white labels for whatever reason on Duran. Fantastic record, not their best record, still absolutely brilliant. Caravan are very, very consistent in the early 70s. They didn't really, they put out great albums until for many years. Not quite. It's the previous album, In the Land of Grey and Pink, to me is their best one. I know it's an obvious choice, but it just, to me, it is their best. This one was a bit of a notch down from that, but it is still great. It's probably the jazziest thing they ever did. There are moments on here that they almost go into sort of a jazz rock fusion territory, but they've still got their usual quirkiness. Great bass playing from Richard Sinclair, and a much better copy than the one I had before, which was very playable but very crackly. This is much better, lovely and clean, and got that one for a very nice price. So there it all is. Just a quick run through of everything. I just wanted to sort of keep in the loop. I've got more videos coming up. I've got further ideas. I haven't been doing as many videos of late. Time has just got in the way. I'm busy with work. You probably may be aware from a previous video, we've got a new pup, so he takes up a lot of time. He's down there next to me sleeping at the moment because he had a good walk earlier, so he is trying to calm down. But yeah, making videos is a bit tricky at the moment. What I have been doing as a kind of little interim measure, which I'm quite enjoying, is I've actually been doing a load of 1 minute shorts. All they are just called What Have I Been Listening To? And it is just 1 minute reviews of albums that I've not shown or don't believe I've shown on the channel yet. So stay tuned to them, because they're just keeping me in the loop. It's not like shorts of rehashing of existing material or anything like that. It's just a little bit of a sideline. But I will be back with more videos proper in the near future. So plenty of good ideas, so please stay tuned. Feel free to give me a like and a subscribe and all that. You know what to do. It really does help the channel. So until the next time, everyone, thank you very much for watching and take care of yourselves. See you soon.